guys, I'm having serious mug buying withdrawal. I just wanna buy more mugs. I've already used all the ones that I've owned at least once. That's probably a lie, but still. I don't get to see this side of my shelves very often because it tends to be a mess. 99% of the time. I still don't know what I'm doing with them. Hey, what's up? I'm Ellie and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a Tag Tuesday video, mostly because I don't know what else to do because all the videos that I'm currently working on take too much time to put out immediately for you. So, welcome to the filler. I wanted to kind of hop on to the trend of looking back on a video that I posted a few years ago and kind of revisiting it, seeing where I came from, blah, 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 blah. I kind of want to do one on bookish facts about me and kind of revisit that, but I think that's going to be a whole different kind of video. I came across the I Never book tag. I felt like this one wasn't overdone because I've done some of the more popular book tags like the Notebook tag and Unpopular Opinions book tag, but I wanted something that was along the similar lines of it, but not quite as known. That this also I had listed as a filler tag. It's fate. So, I'll leave all the information down below. I'll leave the creator. It looks like Lizzie Faye Loves Books was the creator. I'll leave all the questions, blah, blah. I'll leave the link to my original video, but it's cringeworthy at best, as I always am, honestly. I'm also wearing a wig. I totally forgot to add that this wig is from Everyday Wigs. They're one of my favorites. I get pretty much all my wigs from there anymore. And I really, really love the cut of this one, and it's so comfy. It does look the most like hair straight out of the package. It's not super shiny. I do have to do a little something to the part, but that's whatever. It's such a good quality, and I will leave all the information down below for it. This video is going on 4 years old at this point. I'll give you my answers now and try to guess what my answers were pretty much 4 years ago. Let's get into this. What was that just screeched out of my mouth? I never read that. Name a book that you've never read that everyone else has. I'm gonna go with ILLUMINAE is my current one. I feel like everyone and their mother has read ILLUMINAE, and I am just so far behind. Even Books and Lala, who I honestly wouldn't have seen picking that up because it's a series, even she loves it. So I'm just so far behind. I do think it is sci-fi. It's kind of a mixed media, and I think the biggest thing is that there's been such a debate on whether or not you should read the physical or the audio, and like I'm just too confused to pick it up. I don't know which one I really want to do. What would I have said? What was even out 4 years ago? Had I read The Raven Cycle yet? Maybe The Raven Cycle? I think I was just getting around to reading it. Maybe. I never. Question number 1. I never read that. Name a book you've never read that everyone else has. For this, I'm going with a whole author, and I'm going with Jane Austen because I have... Okay. Was not expecting myself to just bend the rules. Why am I not surprised though? And I picked Jane Austen as a whole ass author, which is still true. I still have not read any Jane Austen, so guess that's not something that I was that worried about completing. Number 2, I never read anything so awesome. Awesome. Why did I say it like that? I think mine is probably A Court of Mist and Fury. Like, that's my all-time favorite. But I also think If We Were Villains is probably like my go-to recommendation to literally everyone. That's up there, but Court of Mist and Fury just has such a special place in my heart, but I think If We Were Villains is probably like my most favorite. I love the aesthetics of it. I love everything about it. I love the characters. I love the mystery. It's so good. It's about a murder at a Shakespeare Academy. It's so good. What would I have said back then? I don't know if I had read A Court of Mist and Fury yet. I might have said Throne of Glass. Possibly. Either A Court of Mist and Fury or Throne of Glass is what I'm... So, name your favorite book. So I have tons of favorite books. What can I say? But for this, I'm going to go with one of my most recent favorites, and that is A Court of Mist and Fury. If you guys don't know, I just love this book so much. A Court of Thorns and Roses is like, okay. So, yes, as you can see, that hasn't changed, honestly. Still my favorite. Still love it. Doing another reread of it, so I've reread it like 3 times since this video has come out. 3, I never thought I would get through it. Name a book that you didn't like but powered through anyway. Emergency Contact maybe, and that was even one that I was like, I'm DNFing it, like I'm done with it, and I still completed it somehow. Like I don't know, that was probably one that sticks out in my head as one that I completed, even though I know that I didn't like it. Back then, I probably said Carry On.
So usually if I don't like a book, I just stop reading it. If I reach 100 pages and I'm still not interested, a lot of times I just DNF it. I don't care about wasting time. It used to be an issue where I was like, I'm going to finish it, but I've reached the point where I'm like, if I don't like it, I'm not finishing it. I got so many other books I can be reading that I know that I'm probably going to like. So the fact that I powered through this really means a lot, and that is Gone Girl because...
Oh, why didn't I think of Gone Girl? That definitely should have been, because I think that was the year that I spent like 6 months reading that book, and then it was in my shittiest reads of the year. So, that's a good one. I'm surprised I didn't say that. Yeah, Gone Girl still. It's still a shit book, so. Therefore, I will never finish that. Name a book or series that you don't plan on finishing. So, Children of Blood and Bone, absolutely have no interest in continuing that whatsoever. I read the first one, was highly disappointed, very tropey, bad writing. The characters were all over the place. It just wasn't a good time. So I won't be continuing on with that. I want to say I probably said the Vampire Academy series because I think that was after I had read Blood Promise and was just so disgusted by some of the things happening in that. So that's what I'm thinking. This is a Christmas video. What the hell?
The most recent series I have decided that I am not going to move forward with. There are very few series where I don't end up finishing them. I think there are only like 3 to date. This is one that I enjoyed enough to read, but not enough to finish, and that is The Kiss of Deception, and I am really...
Oh! I forgot that series existed, honestly. Like, I could have been okay with that being a standalone, but I'm not surprised. I am surprised that that was the thing just because I forgot that has it been that long since I read that? Number 5, I will never regret reading that. Name a book you read solely on a recommendation that you ended up... What?
Restrict button.
I will never regret reading that. Name a book you read solely on a recommendation that you ended up really liking. Pretty much all the books that I read are recommendations from someone, whether it's a coworker or someone else here on BookTube. So I feel like there's a lot of things that could work here. Probably be The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, just because everyone on BookTube was recommending it, and I just kind of fell into the hype because I was like, I have to know what everyone is talking about, essentially. So I ended up reading it and I loved it. It was in one of my favorite and best books of the year that I read it. So what did I say back then? Might say Mysteries of Pittsburgh, just because I had a friend recommend that to me. But I read that way before BookTube. I honestly have no clue for this. I might say Throne of Glass because I think that I got that from Reagan way back when. I don't know. I don't remember what my favorites were that year.
You had recommended me during the, I think it was the readathon, or was it the BookTube? One of the readathons that I did this year. I think 2, you think it wouldn't be that hard. But that was The Witch at Blackbird Pond.
Oh! The Witch at Blackbird Pond! Vanessa recommended me that book. And I had not realized it's been that long since I read it, but I really, really loved it. It's one of my favorite middle grades now, and I'm so glad that Vanessa had recommended that to me. I don't even know if we were friends yet. I'm having such a hard time remembering literally anything about this year, apparently. Number 6, I would never do that. Name a relatable book character who made choices you didn't agree with or did things you would never do. This one for me would be Time of Our Lives. Probably because I would have never taken my current boyfriend and then started hanging out with another boy while I was on a college trip. I just wouldn't have done that. Back then, I honestly have no clue what I would have said. Honestly, none whatsoever.
You would never do this whole book. Everything.
Oh! So I'm just coming for after. I don't even own this book anymore. It's such a shit book. Yeah, I don't agree with anything that happened in that book. She just made a lot of decisions that I would have never done. I think there was also cheating in that she just was letting things happen to her and was just being a dimwit about a lot of things, and then just romanticized a bunch of abuse. Gross. Number 7, I never wanted to admit it. Name a book that you were embarrassed to say you read or embarrassed to carry around with you. I honestly I'm not ever really embarrassed of anything that I'm reading. I want to say for this question I probably said 50 Shades of Grey because I carried it around campus with sticky notes in it because I wrote my senior thesis on it. That's probably what I said back then. Today, I honestly don't care. I don't care. I think now would probably be Gideon the Ninth, just because a lot of things have come out about that author that I just don't agree with, and I know a lot of people don't agree with. I know there's going to be 10 million comments asking me, what's the tea, sis? But basically, the author had written some fan fiction about essentially pedophilia. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
When I was reading the series, I wouldn't take it out of my house because I was pretty embarrassed to be reading it because, I mean, it's cheesy. And that is the Selection series. It's basically like...
Oh, I said the Selection? Really? Everyone loves the Selection. Why would I be embarrassed to be... It's gonna be a Netflix series, Allie. Why were you embarrassed of that? Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Stupid me. Number 8, I never read anything so heartwarming. Name a book or series that touched your heart. I'm such a sappy fucking reader that everything touches my heart. Everything makes me cry. I fall in love with everything. Really just got me was A House of Earth and Blood, Earth and Bone, what, Crescent City, whatever. That would probably be the most recent one, and it was only within like the last like 100 pages. Like my heartstrings were just really just whoop, pulled right out there. One of all time is probably The Way I Was Before. I think that's what it's called. That is one of my all-time favorite books. It just hit me so emotionally. It was like reading about myself, and it was just so empowering. So I think that might have been what I said in this video, but we'll see.
It's probably one of my favorite books of all time, and I have read it several times, and I just love it so much, and that is The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh. Perks of Being a Wallflower. Yeah. Number 9, I never laughed so hard. Name a book that made you laugh out loud. I don't really read a lot of funny books, so I honestly don't know if I have anything from this. I probably didn't then either. I probably was like, oh, I don't know. Banter and Sarah J. Maas's books. And Lee Bardugo's really good at writing banter too, so those would probably be... I'm just going to mention those just because I'm really not too sure.
See down, I guess, and I don't tend to laugh out loud even if I find something funny. I'll just be like, oh, I'll see you. The only book I have that like tries to be funny is probably Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari, and this is still more on the serious side than it is funny most of the time, but this is probably the only thing that I have that I was like, LOL.
Okay, so yeah, well, no, I don't remember laughing at the book. 10, I never could have made it through childhood without it. Name a favorite book or book series. I have several coming to mind. Series of Unfortunate Events, Cirque du Freak, or The Saga of Darren Shan, as everyone has liked to correct me on, but Cirque du Freak just sounds better. Or Mandy, so I can see myself saying Mandy now and Mandy then. This is just an all-time favorite. It has such a special meaning to me just because my grandma gave it to me. It's very reminiscent of like what I wanted as a kid. I wanted to just play in the woods and find a cottage to live in by myself. So this is probably what I said. I'm saying it now. I'm going to assume that I also said it then.
Childhood without it. Name a childhood favorite book or book series. For this, I am going with the Dear America. Like a history buff when I was a kid. Like I was all about watching the History Channel, and now I couldn't give like two shits.
What? How did I not see that? How did I not know? I have the whole, quite the collection of those. So Dear America books. I totally forgot about these. Yes, I love those. I want to check them all out from the school library. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Honestly, was not expecting to get that many questions wrong on what I said back. So that is the I Never Book tag now and also 4 years ago. I hope you guys have liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to see future videos from me. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next one. Bye.